go, and bada bing. All right, YouTube's up and running there too. So, yeah, so, pretty neutral open so far. We had a green candle and then wicked on down. I will tell you this. That the reason why I know we are entering some pretty tough resistance is that when I was calculating the RS levels today, is that I could pretty much have noted all of I could have signified R1 through R4 as significant. I could have put a plus sign beside all of those. That's how I kind of know we're entering into that resistance zone, that overbought zone. Then we're starting to enter into all of the different zones, the supply zones that we've been facing the past 6-7 months. So just be aware of 4100. That's all I'm saying. Obviously, we've already rejected it, a couple of times this evening. We popped above to like 410, 415, and then fell off. Just be aware of it. And then, of course, the PCE data dump brought us a little lower. Overall, though, man, Apple is up 227. They were up a lot more. Amazon is up 9. They were up 11% at one point, which is still very good. Tesla is 0.05 negative, and Meta is the leader of the losses today, as they are dropping to 157 and further. VIX is down to 2180. So yeah. 4089 is current ES, and what is going on YouTube? Are we in a recession? Yeah, we're definitely in a recession, but we are in this summer bull market. Every time we have a bull cycle in the summertime, everyone's like, why are we bullish? Why is it just that slow, low volume grind? So we are in a bull cycle, and right now the main discussion that I'm seeing across all of the internet communities is why, and we're so focused on the whys, and we're not just playing the charts. We're not just, we're in a bull cycle. It's as simple as that. Nothing's priced in. It's not about the data. It's about the bullish cycle. They're just bringing up. There's a lot of market mechanics happening right here. It happened in March. It happened this time. We were substantially negative in the economy was in the tank in March, and we still rallied just like we rally now. So it happens. So 4086 on here. Yes, I'm going to bring up July 29th, and I'm going to look at 40. Let's see, that's not the right one. July 20th. I'm going to look at 4080s and 4100s. I'm going to play 4080 puts and 4100 calls here. Apple's got some negative there, a little bit of red. Amazon's got some red. Meta came off a little bit, but have a small green candle. Want to keep an eye on Bookmap, because Bookmap obviously has this 39.62. I'm going to repost this for you all just to show you. That's a very wide view there. And then, of course, I'm going to do the zoomed in stuff. Let's do the zoomed in. That's a little closer. We have that 5 wide up there at 4130 level. So there you go. Nope, I haven't entered anything. I'm looking at 4100 calls and 4080 puts. Right now, not too much action. We're kind of just chopping in this little 6-7 point range, or moving in the 7, not chopping yet. But Apple's looking a little heavy at the moment. They just took out pre-market lows. Amazon is hanging out the bottom there. Selling volumes coming in. Oh, nice. Very cool. Yeah, I know 124% losses, it sucks, but that could have been a lot worse. So very cool. Very cool. No plays right now. No plays right now. I don't really play AMD. It's not just something that I've never really gotten into. I've never played it all that much. No. Well, I know, I'm not neither bearish or bullish today. I will play calls as easily as puts today. However, we do have to be aware of mean reversion, and right now 4,000 is still the mean reversion trade, which does kind of correlate with that 39.70 liquidity down there, because we've had nothing but straight bullishness for a couple of weeks now. So it's just you have to be aware of the possible mean reversion trade to the downside, especially with PCE data coming out today. Now that especially the catalysts are over. All the data, all the catalysts have come out. Obviously, we know about Apple and Amazon blowing earnings out of the water, or at least it looks like it did at first glance. But if you were to look into it, it's not as great as everyone thinks. but still. All right, so major large absorption level there. We got to see if we could take out 4080. Watching everything, still nothing but red on Apple. And we're just kind of hanging out here at 4080. Absolutely, yeah. I'll tell you exactly when I enter. One level, the S1 level is strong today. Did I mess that up? Yeah, just S1 is a stronger level today. But R2 and R1. And like I said, I could have made R1, 2, 3, and 4 as strong today. But I just made the strongest of them, which is R2 and R1. And that just says we're entering in that zone where if you even go back and look through December, I mean, for that 41 mid 4100 area is big time demand or supply. I'm sorry, and that's where we continue to reject and fall off, or we're just consolidate around. XLF doesn't usually have too much on Bookmap, just because it's lighter liquidity than other sectors. But looking at it, we've got a little up and little down, and then the overwhelming stuff is up high, 34.5. But right now, 4080 is this largest level. Yeah, the 41, that mid 4100 area is considerable. We didn't quite get there last night. We got up to 41, 12? 41.11. Meta continuing to fall off, 156, down another almost 3%. Amazon, big green candle to come up to their opening. Apple is starting to have a little hammer green here on light volume, though. Microsoft, figuring out what it wants to do. What's XLF doing? Climbing up, baby. 33.41. TLT, the bonds, are chopping sideways after a bullish start yesterday, followed by an afternoon decline. The yields, the 10-year yields, the 2-year and the 30s. Actually, the 30s haven't come under 3 yet, but the 10 and the 2 have, but yet still inverted. NASDAQ had come off down to 12,746 and is buying back up. Taking a look at the X sectors. They all pretty much are coming up with the green candle at the moment. Energy's way up, 77. Utilities up, real estate is flat. And red green out of the gate. Apple's coming on up. No trades. What would make me take puts today? If I see this overall breakdown, I'm gonna play the morning, the first 20 minutes or so, pretty cautiously, because I want to see how this is gonna play out. All the catalysts are over. It's the end of the month. It's the end of the week. Are we gonna have a sell the news event today? Are we gonna have a mean reversion trade back down? I don't really know. Are we gonna fly up to 4150? It's pretty much anyone's guess here. Now that all the catalysts are out of the way, we had obviously Amazon popped up 11%. They're up 10.5 now. So we'll see. I would say it's pretty good probability we're going to at least attack pre-market highs. But I'm not sure when they're going to make that move, if at all. VIX is coming off aggressively to 2167. If the VIX starts attacking 21 is when I'll really start looking at the longer dated calls on VIX. I've been saying mid-22s, but with all this bullishness and the way that VIX has been acting, I was going to let that thing play out. Going to be very patient on the VIX calls and see how far that thing can get down before we take a trade. If this thing pops too early, though, we'll see. We're already coming back up to the open. We opened up there at, 40.89, and we're already above the open, so we're green on the session. Are there any other catalysts coming up? The next big catalyst to look for is CPI. That's the next one, which is in 11 days. 11 days. Yeah, that's one. It's not that big though. You know, PMI is good, but it's not like the big catalyst that we had. Apple's going nuts. Amazon's coming up aggressively. Meta's green bouncing. The VIX is huge coming off big time. Took out lows, and they were already back up to 4,100. Apple bounced from 159 up to 162.5. Microsoft is coming up aggressively. Amazon is new session highs right there. Google is skyrocketing after a pretty bearish pre-market session. And off we go. There you go. 4,100. Watch out for pre-market highs. I guess you can call that a V recovery. We had one or two red candles. And then up we go. Up we go. A mini V. Yeah. Check mark. Alrighty. VIX green candle on the VIX there. And I'm going to dig in. What is the bookmap telling us here? Bookmap cleared out all liquidity right there, just swept through and cleared out the order book. They still have 40.80 on deck. Above us, they've got 41.55 being put on, 41.25, and nothing above. A little bit at 4,200. Man, strong green candles here. Strong green candles. Pre-market highs is 40. Where is that at? That's not right. There we go. That one. 40.11 on the dot. 41.11 on the dot is pre-market highs. So watch out for 41.11 if we get that high. All right, so we're coming up, and if you look back in the charts, the daily charts, which I spent some time on this morning, the March rally began here, and then once that sold off, we consolidated in that mid 4,100 area. The bullish action in May fizzled out in the mid 4,100 area, 4,120 to be exact. And here we are right back to the mid 4,100 area. So that mid 4,100 area is like a staging area for movement. Staging area for movement. Not to mention, we also used it as a consolidation period back in spring of 2021. So there's a lot of precedence for supply here in this mid 4,100 area. If we don't cancel our Patreon, will it still auto charge us? Yes, but like I'm sending out another email to everyone saying, hey, go ahead and switch over to the website. So. The 3970 has 2,400 contracts. Well, that's what I'm looking for. I'm monitoring it. It's obviously 150 points down. So, I'm not 130 points down. I'm not going crazy over that level because it's so far away. But it is substantial in volume. So it wasn't there yesterday. So it's new. It's a new level that's absolutely colossal. I'm just going to keep an eye on it. Obviously, I am not going to make the mistake of being bearish on today unless I see something bearish. So. Can we drop to 39.70 today? Absolutely we can. Will it happen? It's obviously a long shot, but I just want to be aware of it. Right now, everything is obviously up. What's your confirmation of a strong move? For me, it's man, we're still going up here. So I'm looking at. I have no problem being patient and watching this stuff here because this is an early bullish move. If I want a V recovery, I want a delayed move. So when I see a move like this, that's pretty early, two things are going to happen. We're either going to be trend up all day, one of those days that's just trend up when we go, or we're going to reject this and come on back down and put in lows. when I see this early bull action like this. Same thing. If I see early selling, then it's one of the two things here. So, yeah, just be careful. Yep, declining volume here. The bulls, the volume never came in. We have some top wicks. I'm just kind of hanging out. Yeah, confirmation of a strong move. So, you know, the first thing obviously is I'm looking at the market itself. I'm looking at all the data, as much data as I could bring in. And then I'm going to use volume as confirmation. If I'm seeing price action that's bullish or bearish, whichever, I'm going to look up. I'm going to look at all the different tech stocks, see what's running, and go from there. And then I'm going to look at the volume to see if it's confirmation trade. Is it a supported trade? Right now, volume is coming off. And we have some top wicks here at the 4100 area again. So Tesla is on a rocket. You know, 1.73. They were down. Now they're up big time. 1.73. Apple's up 3%. Amazon is up 10.64%. God. So that makes them, what, a 30% trade? 34? Well, I mean, I don't even calculate what they're up from lows. You know, Amazon stock price went up like almost 30% now, which is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Is it 35? Wow. Yeah, I knew it was 24, 23, 24 yesterday, and then obviously this big 10% pop. Yeah, so that makes sense. 35%, little 10 plus 25. I think I can do that. So. I'm trading zeros right now. Trading zeros. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, so we're still green and climbing. We got 4102. Ugh. I'm going to start muting the bull bear talk on Twitter. It drives me nuts. It's all ego. Right now, I am looking at 4110s and 4090s. 4110 calls, 4090 puts. No plays right now. This is a pretty early move, a very early move right out of the gate. We didn't even get down, 5 points before this thing bounced, and now we're up 25 points already. I sold the entirety of my Tesla position on the 27th for 738 watching this market. No, don't worry. No, I wouldn't do that. Especially with Tesla. Tesla's incredibly volatile stock, so don't hurt yourself over it. I mean, you still sold a great position at 738. You'll get another opportunity to come down. I mean, Tesla will come on back down. So, yep, it's a pretty strong move here. A lot of top wicks, diminishing volume. But I closed my Tesla position in the mid 600s a year and a half ago, or a year ago now. So, don't sweat it. I'm cautiously thinking that, Mad Manny. I'm cautiously thinking that. When I see an early pump like this, I'm cautious of it. So this is either going to be a trend up off the 8 EMA, a little Lee-Rat special all the way up, or we're going to reverse back down when I see an early pump like this. Yep, you're going to see a lot of that, especially after a large rally. You'll see a lot of institutional growth into long-dated puts. You know, that's either hedging or a directional play. So we'll see. For me, the LRS is based. I play the LRS off the 3 and the 5, but obviously it's on a trend day. It's on a trend day. Nice, Florist. Yeah, if you were following along, I longed ES futures right after the Apple data came in. I was able to make, 23 points per contract, which I elected to close them. I closed them at, 4106. So I posted those in the futures trades channels, and we kind of had a little discussion about the futures trades and what to expect there. But that's a great way to play earnings without actually playing options contracts if you want to get in, especially on a market mover like Apple and Amazon, which will move ES. It didn't move as much as I thought. I was trying to get at least 30, 40 points out of that, but I think it's one because we are so obviously we're extended and we're bumping up against, man, Amazon's up 12%. Holy crap. And we're bumping up against this 4100 area. Amazon is almost a 140. That's ridiculous. ES still climbing up. 4106. Sustained volume, though. It's not dropping off really just yet. Every candle closes, maintaining volume. Yeah, this is pretty substantial. Amazon had a large green day for earnings back in the spring, but I don't think it was 12%. I think it reached 10% or something. And that was, of course, before they split. But 12% is a phenomenally large day for the third biggest holding in the S&P. I'm actually surprised the S&P is not up more. It's because of the weakness in the other tech stocks is why we're not, up 2% right now on ES. Because I'm a little skeptical of this movement, if I'm being honest, PJ. We'll see. I have no problem sitting out the first 30 minutes. There's always another trade today, but I'm just like right now. The past 4 candles have been very sketch candles. They're barely closing green and they have top wicks with lower volume. So I'm just kind of hanging out, but they keep closing higher. So that's the issue here. Yes, Slimy. You need to be tier 1 to get this room on Discord. All right, so looking through here on Bookmap, they had liquidity at 41.27, took that off. They had some liquidity at 41.55, they've removed. They also took off the big level at 40.80. So liquidity up and down, both coming off. And now we're kind of strapped between 41.10. 41.10 probably is at least the short-term target, which is a little bit above us. But we will see. We will see. Can you imagine what the 39.70 puts would pay today? Yeah, XLF is 1.5%, 1.05. XLY is egregiously green, obviously, because it's got those holdings in it. XLE, energy, crazy, 3.13. And then, of course, XLF is on a tear. I'm not looking for a flush, but if it happens, I'll be on it. I'm just right now, I want to see how we deal with this bullish open. What are the 4K puts going for? 0 DTE 4000 puts are going for 30 cents right now on SPX. 30 cents. For a YOLO. You and me both, Mohammed. In fact, that's right now you can get a 41.55, 41. You can get a 25 wide here for about $1. At 41.55, 20 wide for about $1, which is 50 points up from here. We are 6 points away from overnight highs. He took 4,000 puts for a lotto. Man, if we touch that, that would be epic. Epic. Not Amazon. I would take them on. I would take them on SPX. I would take them on SPX. All right. A couple of top wicks here fizzling out at 4,100. Volume is coming off. Yeah, BABA. You know, BABA's going to be pretty volatile in the Asian markets. Pretty volatile. I'm just kind of jumping through everything here. Nothing but green, man. You know, nothing but green up to 41.05. Everyone's talking about the lotto tonight. $41.04. Yep, it took off all that liquidity. They still have 41.10, 40.80, and there's not really much else, man. You know, they got a little bit up above us, a little bit below us, but there's overall pretty light liquidity day on the book map. Still looking at, ooh, they took off the 30. Did they took off that big level? I think they took it off. Nope, that's still there, 39.75. Yeah, that level's still there. So if anyone sees that level come off, then let me know. I'm going to be keeping an eye on that level. 39 XLF is freaking going. So the past 5 candles have some pretty substantial top wicks on the 3-minute chart here as we are approach 30 at 4,100, and we just chillaxing. Nice, Chris. Yeah, you managed that well. That could have been a lot worse. Considering Amazon moved 12%, I think you came out okay on that one. Well, you know, if we do go down, I'm thinking about mean reversion. That's it. I'm just thinking about market mechanics and mean reversion, not necessarily reversals or any of that stuff. I just want to take a look at the mean reversion trade. Yes, Hiddenist. Yeah. Nice, Neo Trader. Apple's got some red. Amazon's got a little green. I'm looking at 40.90 puts here. Yeah. $41.05. Well, 40.90 puts and then the 41.20 calls. So I'm looking at both sides, but I'm just letting you update which ones I'm looking at. 40.90 puts, 41.20 calls. This is a positioning day for next week. A very good positioning day that we have to be ready for after a pretty volatile week. Yeah, so they wiped all this liquidity from Bookmap. They've got the 41 AA red candle Roni. Big red. Big red. And wicked up. $41.02. bottom wick green candle. Look at that. That was a big old red candle that just bottom wicked and went up. Well, we're getting to the point here where it's looking like a trend up day. So three, I mean, I'm looking at all time frames. I execute off the three, but I'm looking at 5, 10s. I'm looking at the 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute, 60-minute. And I'm monitoring all those different time frames, but I execute off the 3-minute. Yeah, I'm not really interested in data. I mean, it doesn't, like, we look how much data we posted in the past 2 weeks that are completely negative, and we still go higher. So it doesn't matter. Data is positive, data is negative. Right now, we are in a bullish cycle. I think that's pretty obvious. So there's no way you can interpret it's 9.1 CPI, PCE growth, declining GDP as bullish. There's no way. Like, anyone can spin it any way they want. It's not bullish data. We're just in a bullish cycle, plain and simple. It's happened 5 times since December. It happens. So data to me is pretty irrelevant right now. It's just every excuse to go higher. We want some sexy YouTube bots. Oh yeah, we haven't had that in a while actually. Oh, there it is. I guess that's why he said it. Sorry. Hide user. Here we go. Man, look at this. 40. All right, new highs. Took out pre-market highs. Now I'm going to calls. Increase in volume there. 41.25, 41.30. And up we go. I'm looking at 41.20 calls here. Ah, this is crazy. Nicely, Rat. VIX down to 21.60. Yeah, so if the VIX continues to fall, I'll be looking at the VIX lower. I'm still just looking. Yep. Yeah, big spike in bull volume there. That was a data release. Data release. Initial red followed by the green. I can't remember the last time we've had a data release without a bullish reaction. It's been like 6 weeks. Sentiment 51.5. Yeah. I mean, in a bullish cycle, absolutely. Play calls. Play calls. And then when you're in a bearish cycle, fade all the highs. It's just you have to learn to identify those. And now we're coming up on 41. So new high of the day. We bounced off of almost an R1. We blasted through R1, consolidated around it, bounced off of it. Now we're going to R2. R2 is, a couple of cents above our current position. But on the 3-minute chart, we've only had one red candle in the past half hour. So it's just, yeah, they will. You're definitely right. In 41.16 and higher. When the March, I think it was on a Friday that the March rally that the March rally finished off, and like the last day, it was like a 140-point up day, and then we reversed back down the following week. If I remember right, it was a Friday. Then again, it was OPEX as well, so there has like $3.5 trillion of equity rolling on that particular day. But different instances, but still, this rally is just as silly as the March rally in terms of magnitude. If you go back and look at the chart, the past 3 days put us in silly mode, where we're back to that level of absurdity. Yep. So 41.20, here's what I'm looking at. Still, I'm going to play them pretty tight. They're pretty cheap. They're going for $11. They're pretty cheap right now. No, it's ES, not SPX. I was looking at futures there. So SPX 4120s are going for 10.40 right now. Yep. Yeah, 4120s are going for 10.40, and of course the 4100s, which I'll shave down to, is the 780s. Why will we not open some long dated puts at some point? It's a very good thought. Yeah, for sure. Direction and Magnitude. Oh yeah, great movie. I love it. I haven't read that one yet. I haven't read that one. If we get a trend up, just buy a call and hold it. Yep. But that's a big if. That's a big if. The more I day trade, the less appealing swinging is. Would rather just take every day fresh. Right now, absolutely. The day will come where I'll want to come back into swings. Probably about 6 to 8 months away, if not a little longer. But right now, day trading is the way to go. Day trading is the way to go. If you are interested in swinging long dated puts, I would encourage you to go pretty far out. I would go anywhere between mid to late September if you're going to be looking at that stuff. So that'll give you some time to get through supply, to get through these bounces. But what's up, BBB? Head over to the market analysis channel, and you'll get the SR levels. And right now we are just bouncing off of R2 perfectly. Apple's pretty flat at the moment after that. After those two big green candles, they're chopping flat. Amazon is still doing its thing. Meta is hanging out. I'm trying to get out of put options on Bicari and put him below the bid. It still won't execute. Interesting. Make sure you don't have like outside hours or something out, some weird check like that. Am I expecting reversal around 41.50? I would expect resistance at 41.50. I won't say reversal. I would hope I can play calls up to 41.50 if we get up that high. But hey, Shark is still here. Did I say I was buying puts? I didn't say I was buying puts. You do realize I made 300% on calls yesterday, right? I love it. Oh, I made 100% on calls then too. Yeah, on FOMC. Yeah, but thanks. Hey, what's your YouTube channel link? $41.11.50 here on ES. Amazon's up, coming up now, approaching the pre-market highs there. SPOCM is it's kind of flat here. It's kind of flat. Not giving us too much input right now, although the past couple of days it has been indicative of people of negative flow, but that doesn't mean we're going down or up. But overall, pretty flat today. The negative flow, the positive flow has dropped off there in the past, right before the open, but it's right now things are just kind of going sideways. Man, I feel like my charts froze. I feel like this candle's just been like moving. I had to refresh my charts here. You'll get your chance, Joji. You'll get your chance. Hey, let's bring the technical stock over to general chat, please. We'll figure it out there. I told you, add Amazon at 80 or 90. 80 or 90, and you'll be good. It may take a couple months there, but I'll be adding at 80 or 90. Do I need a protein shake? Man, this candle really ain't moving at all. Just kind of hanging out right here. 41.13. Not yet. I'll get one here soon. I think the whole market will retreat that much eventually, but yeah. Here's my thesis, and especially, it's my position right now. Me personally as a trader, I would rather be great at playing downside and monitoring upside rather than being only playing upside and being terrible at playing downside. Because being great at playing downside and still being able to identify calls to the upside puts me in position to make money on both sides. Instead of being oblivious to the fact that we could drop to 3,200 and just being super long calls and bullish for the long term, and get smoked by any kind of red unexpectedly. So I want to be astute, or I want to be privy to all different circumstances. And I am not blind to our current dire economic conditions. And the market can't outrun that stuff. So long term, I'm speaking purely 6-7 months out. So. Yep, what Trader J just said right there. So when I see that bond moving, I'm looking at rotation. XLF is still hanging out here. And then 41.15. I'm glad you finally found it. So if you look at the move, which is, elementary way to put it, it's the VIX of the bonds. The move index has been up since 2020. It's been skyrocketing, and it's still going up. In fact, it hit highs back in July. And basically, until that move comes off and we see the volatility being removed out of the bond market and a little strength and confidence being put into the bond market, then you'll start to see that long-term bullish thesis start to come in. You'll start to see the long-term bullish guide, like the clouds part, the rain stops, sunshine comes through. It's all right. Now we can start looking at long-dated leaps or long-dated calls and start to really pile into long-dated positions. But right now, that move index is pretty high, and it's still going up. A lot of volatility in the bond market. So, and the volatility in the bond market is not necessarily good for a long-term outlook. Would it not be easier to trade the top 5 individual stocks of SPY than SPY itself? Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes. Every now and then we throw on one of those trades. Do I find the move more useful than TLT? No. It's just another. It's definitely as useful. It's something I want to be aware of, and I want to bring it more and more into my cross check, especially when I'm looking for the move to start coming off and to come back down to lows. See, when you have guys like that come in and start talking about buy the dip, buy only calls, rip, 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 those are the guys that get destroyed when the market starts consolidating. Those are the guys that gets destroyed when the market rotates down. So I would rather be, perma bulls, which are just as bad as perma bears. So, I want to be aware of calls to the upside and then push to the downside when they call for it. It's quite unhealthy to do that stuff. That's a good idea, Shepard. Bookmap has currently got liquidity above 41.20, 41.25. I'll post my plays, I promise. I'll post my plays. Right now, this is, I'm just seeing where we're going. Hero, they had the positive delta come off. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. They had positive delta coming off after, right about the data, and then now we're just trending sideways. Can you please tell us what I mean by mean reversal trades? Well, you know, when you're looking at the mean, so when a stock makes a big move, whether it be up or down, oh geez, that's not a good concern to have. When you're making a big move, whether up or down for a sustained rally, there's always going to be that mean reversion trade that comes back just a little bit. And it's not necessarily a reversal; it's just the normal mean reversion trades that come back to the overall mean of the price action. I'm not saying it's going to happen today, nor am I looking for it. In fact, I'm looking at calls here if we can hold this level. Because we've had now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pretty weak candles here, small weak. But if it holds it, then we'll probably have a Lee rat bounce off this and maybe go to 41.20, 41.25, which is liquidity on Bookmap. I'm not sure if we're going to get above 41.20 or not. There's a little liquidity above. But yeah, we've had a pretty wild week this week already. We've made a lot of money on calls, a little bit of money on puts, lost some money on some puts. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's just a mean reversion trade. It's pretty simple. I just don't get wrapped around it. What will be the determinant between a mean reversal and a full-on reversal is volume. If you see like a gigantic spike in volume on the daily, and then everything that really starts to dip will come off, and we'll have that reversal. But here's the thing: the market is not necessarily binary. It's not going to be one day we're up and then boom, one day we're just get down a reversal. Not with that catalyst. So even if we do reverse here, it's going to take like a week of chop. We're going to consolidate around 4100, 4150, and then we'll have a day kind of like we'll sell off and go back down. So I'm not looking for a big ping reversal here, but not necessarily a catalyst. So find out on the website, make a mistake by choosing year membership instead of a month. Yeah, shoot a DM over to Mrs. OM, Mrs. Upson Millionaire, and she'll be able to hook you up. She handles all my admin stuff for me. What red line of Bookmap indicates there's seller liquidity or buyer? We don't know that. All we know is open market liquidity. That's it. Your cat peed on the hoodie. Jeez Louise. 41.7 came off just a touch, although there is liquidity there, but they just took a little bit off there. The big level there I'm looking at is 41.20. That's why I'm looking at maybe a 41.20 call here if we get a good bounce. But overall, yeah, we're just consolidating after the morning pop. So. Alrighty. So some green building here to 41.14. We're kind of hanging out the day's highs. We're well above the main POC on the 3-minute and the longer time frame stuff here. So now that we're in that 4100 area, we're going to start kind of going into a lot of the resistance zone. 4120, 4150. All right, so what's the next move? Amazon kind of get a little red there. Apple's going up. Microsoft is still screaming new highs. Meta's hanging out at 157. Now there's about a 3 or 4 second delay on the YouTube on the live. We're in United States. United States. If we do bounce off the 8 and go higher here, it will be pretty much a trend up day. We opened the day with 2 small reds. We bounced and raged, 30 points now? So if it takes out the day's highs and closes higher, we're looking at a breakout to the upside here. Plus, not to mention the day's highs is also R2. R2 is considerable, and we're going up. Got him. Thank you. $41.50 calls. Yep. It all depends on the day, Ryan PC. It depends on the day. Sometimes I can make my daily goal in one play. Sometimes it takes me 5 plays to do it. Yesterday was obviously, a 300 point trade, 300% trade, even on a small position size, is a pretty good play. You could pretty much nail a lot of your daily goal like that. But on a day like right now, and of course I missed the morning open, but if we chop, then it's a little harder to do it. You're gonna have to be a little more precise about your scalping. So Apple just put in a new high of the day, and here we are attacking the day's highs in R2, which is substantial. We take out R2, watch for a potential breakout at least to R3. What daily percentage of your portfolio do you target for daily? I'd love 1%. If I can hit 1%, I don't care what other trades I do. If I hit 1%, that's a phenomenal day. Phenomenal day. I have a dollar amount that I'm happy with. It's not necessarily 1%, but if I can hit it, great. I've got 41.20 calls here up and ready. Maybe Apple's screaming right now. They're up 3.8 and they're going. Amazon has not yet really turned. If they do it, then up we go. XLF is still freaking beast mode. Still beast mode. However, healthcare is getting plumbled. And new high of the day. R2, can we close above R2 and push to R5? And then 41.20. Actually, I'm going to go up to 41.25. We're already pretty much at 41.20. Yeah. Yeah, you're definitely right. All right, 41.20. I'm going to 41.25s. I think we're going. Oh, Apple's squeezing. Apple's going to squeeze. If Apple goes up to, then we'll probably go up to 41.20. 41.50, man, is looking more and more likely. 41.50 is looking more and more likely the higher we push here. All right, I'm scalping 41.25s here. At this point, we're just this is trend up. We just bounced off the 8 EMA, which is indicative of a trend. We've got liquidity at 25, and then a little ladder up to 41.30. Then they just added 41.35. They just added 41.35. They just added 37, 35, 33, and they just made 41.40 stronger. So, yeah, I am in the 41.25 calls. So, do we see 41.55 today? I don't know. That would be up there, but I mean, it's only 25 points out, and everything is screaming. It is potentially we could do that. Why is the VIX just chilling? It's down to 21.55. We're getting to the point on the VIX where I don't expect the VIX to go back into the 20s. I would be surprised to see the VIX. Well, I would be surprised to see the VIX stay in the 19s if it did. Like that's that area, but we'll see. We'll see. Liquidity is pointing higher for sure. 41.25 and then up above. There's a crap ton of liquidity up to 41.30. And yeah. God, I hate predictions. I hate people who brag about predictions. I took the 41.25s. Still holding 41.21, 157.60. Microsoft, look at Microsoft, man, pumping. Look at that, 280.79, absolutely beast mode. Amazon is 137.39. Apple is 163. Did some charting about a VIX about a month ago. Yeah, keep an eye on that VIX for sure. Keep an eye on the VIX. If you look at the overall arching VIX from years, we kind of have this curvy, upwards trending VIX that's going on here. And this has been the largest drop in the VIX we've had since that March rally. Yes, I'll let you know when I close. I'm grim, like 5% right now. 2160 on the VIX, and we're right at that line where we pivot. We're right at that pivot line where we're going to upturn or blast through. If we blast through, we'll probably gravitate to, I don't know, 4,300 area. But we're in that area where the VIX needs to, if we want to follow on that trend. They just white bookmap. They got that 41.25 as the overwhelmingly large level. Oof. What was that? So 41.25, 41.27, 41.30, and now we're just kind of out of here at 41.18. It's funny. Someone I saw a write-up yesterday that said that this has like been the most hated rally of the year because everyone's trying to figure out why, and it just keeps on going up. Bottom wick, flip that candle green. I got a theory on why we're going up. This is just a bullish cycle. You know, the when we're fighting, you know, when we're playing all the price action we have is based on institutional investors and the way they program their computers. So right now we're just on a bullish cycle, and they're going to keep on buying until it's met, and then we'll enter a new cycle, and that cycle will probably be a consolidation, and then after that we're either going to leg up or we're going to leg down. But you know, we can't judge that. We just have to go from there. $41.16. So they're adding a little bit there at $41.12. They still have the $41.25 is the larger level, and we're bouncing off R2 here. And the EMA. Hanging out at the EMA now, right on R2. And we've got Microsoft's coming off just a touch. Meta's coming off just a touch. Well, you know, I don't really go by short-term movement based on the long-term economic outlook. Now we're hanging out in the 8. Amazon's green, Meta's red, Apple's red. Boring stuff so far. Boring stuff. Am I still in a scalp? Yeah, I'm still in it. Yeah. I hope y'all are not following a scalp, but yeah, I tried unusual whales back in January and February. It didn't really do much for me. It didn't do much for me. So it was great. It was a great tool, but it didn't provide me value added. Is my question is my thing. Um, the value added is something that I can really count on to add more insight, like Bookmap, even Spot Gamma. Unusual Whales is great, but there's too many questions. There's too many ifs. There's too many. You know, we don't know what that is. There's so much dynamic positioning that hedge funds make that it's hard to really focus on what direction is going based on that. So I would rather monitor options flow. I would rather monitor options flow and order flow. So it's not terrible. Just for me, it didn't offer value add. So But I gave it a shot. I gave it a shot, you know. All right, so here we're bouncing off the 8. We're at the day's highs. I was looking for some follow through up to 41.25, which is most liquidity on Bookmap here. In fact, they're making it even stronger. Right now, we're just kind of grinding up off the 8. Grinding up off the 8. So my thesis here is 8 EMA and R2. If we break down below R2 and 8 EMA, I'll close out the scalp, and then I'll look at probably 4100 puts somewhere in that area if we break down. But right now, my thesis is still bouncing off the 8 and going to 41.25. So I'm down 9% on these right now. I don't have a percentage stop loss set. I've got my line in the sand, which I'll close. Does theta eat away on a scalp? Absolutely, but you know we've only been in it for a couple of minutes now. $6,000 this year. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the Discord, or on YouTube Live, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays I stream in the Discord for them as well. But yeah, overall every day. My bad, sorry. Here's what we got on Bookmap. A lot of liquidity up to 41, 25, and 30 right there. Can you explain how theta eats away on a 0DT scalp? So yeah, if you hold the scalp for, 15, 20, 30 minutes, an hour, theta is going to start eating that position. It's going to start eating away at it, especially if we chop. Now, if we're moving, your delta will overcome your theta, no big deal. But if we sit here and chop, then yeah, theta is going to go away. And I entered roughly, 41.19 is when I roughly hovered 41.18. So, yeah. And my entry point will have to be, my exit will have to be higher and higher. My break-even exit the longer it chops here. I blew up my account yesterday and taken time off day trading until I get some more funds. Bookmap, anywhere from, it all depends on the feed you're looking at, but we're looking at like $39 for the feed. But there's a bunch of different plans. It depends on which plan you're going to choose. The Global Plus and whatnot. But then you can choose your feed. That's all right, Damien. That's all right. Are you the Damien in the server? Do I ever average down on a scalp? Rarely. Averaging down on an option is risky. Yeah, Apple's going. Amazon is still hanging out. But yeah, Apple's just put in a new high of the day. XLF is climbing up here as well. So yeah, the scalp is still red. It's down what now 10%, 10.1%, 9.3.8%. So yeah, it's a little red, but it's fine. If you can't hail an 8% red scalp, then I mean, come on, it's a scalp. I've blown up account 3 times in the last 2 years and took it from 200 to 10K 3 times, and his greenness and greed has screwed me over. Yep. I would probably say 80% of my large losses at one point were green. 80% of my large losses at one point were green. It's because I wanted more and I held on to it. I mean, look at my Amazon play. It was 100%. Obviously, it was a smaller play and it was a long dated play, but it was up over 100%. And now it's red. I use the TTM squeeze on long dated charts. So when I'm looking at the daily, monthly, weekly, I'll look at I'll use a TTM squeeze, but I don't use it on shorter term stuff. All right. What do we got? Little green here coming off the ADMA. My scalp is break even. Can't make any movement though. Can't make any movement. I thought we'd be taking out sit 41.25. So I'll give this another 2-3 candles here, and I'll look at closing this thing out. I use the 8/21/34 EMA. And we're just hanging out on R2. There's a green. All right, back in the green. So bouncing off the 8, Apple's coming up. Let's see if we can absorb 41.25. If we could take out 41.25, I'd like to maybe get 30. If I can get 41.30, that'd be a decent little win. We'll see. XLF is coming on back up. Does that divergence of price and price action, or volume and price action? Yes. So the volume is coming off. It is coming off as we are at all-time highs, or not all-time, but session highs. So here I am looking for direction, basically. We have liquidity above, but obviously there could be a dangle and a carrot. So bouncing off the 8, if we can absorb the 41.25, which is also just above R2, if we can get through this level, we could pump up to 41.30, but then 41.30, that's a lot of liquidity up there. So I don't use MACD. I don't use MACD. MACD is, I think, a terrible indicator. Where the volume at? Yeah. $41.25, $41.40. Yeah, every indicator is right. Yeah. All right, so we got a little green, 41.21 coming back up. Watch for 41.25 if we can get there, but I'm not seeing, the problem is here, which is why my finger's on the sell button, is I don't see any correlation in the other markets. Amazon is flat, Meta's flat, Microsoft is flat here. Apple kind of has a little bit of a pump, but it's not really going anywhere. So I was looking for that follow through R2 up to R3. I'm not getting it right here, and the longer I stay in this trade, the longer I don't like it. So I'm going to give this a few more potatoes to see how if we can negotiate 41.25, and then I'll exit. Just because volume is diminishing. Yep. And then the VIX, yeah, I'm watching that VIX too, for sure. Today may be the day I enter into the September VIX calls, the $30 30 strike VIX calls. Well, I definitely think you're going to see a change of tune after midterms, especially if they lose the midterms. I mean, you'll see an onslaught of recession. It'll be world on fire recession. What's up, bro voice? All right. So, all right, I'm going to put a fill in for 10 bucks, see if we can get that right here. Just get out of this crap. Oh, oh. Nah. Nah. $21.22. Can we get $21.25? Nah, you ain't gonna do it. You ain't gonna do it. Couldn't get a fill. Yeah, there's too much resistance here. That 41.25 is no bueno. I just had 10% show up just for a second. I couldn't get a fill. Couldn't get a fill. I don't like it. Me no likey. Out of that scalp with one left. Nice. 3.4% profit. Small, but it's honest work. Well, that's why we're here, Rob. That's why we're here, to learn, to talk, to learn. All right, so that was a nice green candle, top wicked, right back down to 41.20. It ain't much, but it's honest work. Yeah. I tried to get out at 10% there. I had it, and they didn't quite get there. I had 10% on the ask, and I didn't get filled. 971, right when we popped up that first candle. Oh, nice, Super Econ. You got 1250 on that? Nice. I was trying to get, what was my order form on that? My order on it was 10.1, and I couldn't get a fill. Now they're currently 9.2. More call floor order come in, 100K volume, OI sweep. I see the afternoon run coming. It could happen, for show. It's for show. Here you go, Burton Pop. VIX did come off to 2147. Nice, Star-Lord. Very cool. There's nothing moving right now. I'm looking across the board here. There ain't nuts moving. We're just kind of chopping along R2. $41.20. Nice, Bobby. 20%er. Yeah, a lot of flow coming in. A lot of flow coming in. 500. Nice, Rob. Well done. Well done. Should bear step in and push us down at some point? Well, yeah. Yeah, definitely. But just, it's a dangerous game trying to time that. Right now, the flow on Hero is showing selling calls. Negative flow is absolutely is the winner today. All right, so we're now at my breaking point. R2 and 8 is my stop loss on these things. So you're going to go ahead and enter them now? I was going to wait a little bit this afternoon, but after that nice rejection there, I don't want to hold too much past where we currently are. The 8 EMA R2 area is my line in the sand. Below that, I will close those babies out. You're taking 25 strikes. Yeah, another spammer. Another spammer. There you go. Meta is dead flat. Literally, if you look at the price action on Meta, they're not moving. Like it's all not moving at all. Amazon's dead flat. Apple's got a little red here, and we're just kind of trickling around. But I don't want to get in the habit of holding a scalp too long. That's the thing. So that's that. Whatever. Approximate conversion about 11.5. I posted in the market analysis channel. Yeah, I hate MACD. MACD is that indicator. It's like it's fantastic at looking at what happened 15 minutes ago. All right, 41.16. I'm about to exit this stuff. I don't like it. It's aggravating. I missed my 10% fill, and now it cost me. But just a scalp. Yeah, Tesla's climbing up aggressively. Amazon's got a small green. Just chilling. Boring price action. There's the VIX right there. Keep an eye on the VIX. There's the NASDAQ right here. SPY is at R2. Going to post on Twitter, OM took a loss. I'll post it. Don't worry. Don't worry. If the price does not move and we chop for a day, does that make the premiums cheaper? Why? That's why sometimes the premiums are so cheap. Yeah. Yeah. Yep, VIX coming off here, 21.44. Still no movement still. Volume's coming off. 41.14. All right, I'm exiting. Broke my thesis. Smoke that play. No bueno. No bueno. VIX is 21.48. I was looking at 21.16. So 21.16 would be mine on the VIX. But if we take that out, data play today, it wouldn't, depends. If you want to play a conservative call credit spread, it probably would be a good idea. But, all right, I've got my order form up here on the 41.25s. I feel like the hardest thing for me to do is break a cycle with perma below so much money just in front of me. Yeah. $41.15.50. Meta is moving up just slightly. Apple's rounding over. All right, I closed mine. No good. I'd rather cut it out and look for a new position. Closed them. When I mention stop losses, mean as soon as I'm looking for a close at that level, I'll get out. So, when you miss a fill, do you ever consider a market out of your position? What do you mean? Short the VIX. You want to short the VIX? Interesting. All right, currently no positions. So looking at the VIX there, that 2116 area is something I want to pay attention to. And of course, you know, Trader J was saying 2125, 2130. So yeah, XLF is going back up to new highs. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Probably going to bounce here and go higher. But boring movement. Boring movement. We always talk about not going against the trend in this scenario. What a safe thesis triggers whether a reversal. I always got burnt when I go try to go against the trend. Well, yeah, I mean, we definitely want to play with the trend. So you keep on playing it until it bucks you. That's what we say is like, you know, if things are trend up, you keep on playing calls until it fails you. Now, 12 is my prediction for volume strong into the day end. We need earlier. I won't sign off early, but, you know, I will get lunch. And there's a red candle, so that's a good exit for me. I like it. 21, yeah, 41.25. They removed some of that. They put on 41.10s here. The damage is done on the Amazon puts, so, you know, it is what it is. And, whatever. Trade's paid for. You're welcome. You're welcome. So, again, I'm looking around the market. There's not too much movement at the moment. They just absorbed 41.10, and they just put on 4100 and 4120 for that matter. So that's a good example of my, you know, forming my stop loss thesis and making sure I execute. Because you know, I've got in my mind, well, what if it bounces here? You know, what if I exit and it bounces off my low and it goes up? Well, I can't do that because if I hold on to it, then this crap's going to happen. It's going to blow right through, and I'll turn into a 50% loss instead of 20% loss. So, red candles. Right on top of the 34, that's increasing selling pressure. We've got 4108 now coming through the 21. You played the 4100? Nice. Nice. Watch out for VWAP. Increasing sell pressure there. The volume came in there. And then 4107.25. See, you know, the answer for probably a lot of you is to stop trading, trade less, even if it means going 2 days without a trade. I think a lot of people's problems is they have to trade every day, and wait for a trend. You know, yesterday, what did I do? I missed. I was very patient yesterday. I waited 20 points off of the V recovery to enter, and I still got 300%. And I still missed out on, I think, the position event, and eventually went up to like 700 or 800%. Although obviously I wasn't holding that. So wait for those trend days if you must, and wait for the trend days. Wait for the strong trades with a lot of volume. Trade 2 or 3 times a week instead of every day. $41.08. Amazon's rounding over. Apple's 162.47. 3-minute. I'm on the 3-minute chart right now. Nice, fam. $41.0675. VIX is up to a little bit to 2158 area. Slow movement. Increase in sell volume there. So mid-month VIX calls for 30 bucks or 50 cents right now, which I think are dirt beautiful cheap. $25 is $1.20. But those those 30 strike calls are beautiful right now. Beautiful. All right. 4104.75. 401 coming down to 400. VWAP. Watch for VWAP. I don't know if we could take out VWAP. Big spike in the VIX. 4103. I'm doing the mid months. What is it? 23rds? 22nds? And the 4100s. Spike in volume. Watch out for VWAP there. Although Apple and Microsoft are coming off there, but can't get the VWAP. Oh, all right, cool. Happy trading. Nice, 9% green. So I did do the 4125s. I closed out of those. Be patient, lurking. Yeah, be patient. VIX is still spiking here. Gapped up 2173. I scalped a quick put there, but I'm not calling that out after that. $41,275. Broke through VWAP. So let's see if we can come on down to R1. Yeah, for sure. Nice. Nice, Dallin. Man, puts play so much better. Puts pay so much better than calls. It's ridiculous. That's why I love downside, dude. Y'all can hate me all you want for being a bear, but it pays so much better. I just closed half. I'm going for another one here. Tried to get a 30% fill, but I couldn't get it. So we're on VWAP at the moment. Green candle. VIX is 2176 after 2142. Didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean to do that. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And there, there's a lot of reasons why. Obviously, you've got the IV pump, you've got the VIX pump, but when you get that huge sell-off, you get that fear-driven, high-volume stuff where it just plows, What's my process for ending our trade? I mean, I've got the main thing. The first main thing is, of course, the market itself, and then we've got price action and volume. Those are the three major components of the trade. Three major components of the trade. Not yet, GTS. Not yet. Oh man. Well, I had some runners trying to get 30%, but I couldn't get the fill on them. But I'm trying to get out of it right now. At some point, you figure there's going to be some selling. Oh, it's buying. Yeah, there's. I mean, absolutely, we're going to have a reversion down, but like we all know that timing that crap is very dangerous. This thing can keep on going. That's why I lost that money in March, because I was like, man, this thing can't go up another 200 points in 48 hours. And the market's like, you gonna learn today. You gonna learn today. And I learned. I learned. The market was already up like 10%, and I was like, man, the market. I literally said, the market can't go up 200 points in 2 days. It just can't do it after a 10% move already. It can't do it again. Yep. Yep. Well, the market is going to screw over the most many people. They're going to squeeze the volume out of the market, whether it be shorts or longs. Whatever the consensus is, they are going to squeeze it out. Why do you think now we are up 10, 15%? So it's got people saying that 9.1 CPI is bullish. It's like, get out of here. Get out of here. All right, hanging out at VWAP here. Hanging out at VWAP. Holding the same level is not as good. And OMG is it? Yeah. Holding at the same level for sure. 30 minutes ago. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that, Bobby. I want y'all to learn from my wins and my losses. So, all right, top wick here. Back to 16% on this runner. I'm almost break even on the day. I'm almost break even on the day. Can we get there? It's 16% overall on VIX calls. Oh, nice. I want a little more. Maybe I'm being greedy, but I want a little more. I was looking for 21.15 on VIX, but I guess it doesn't matter if I'm doing long-term stuff. So, correct, Nathan. Yeah, scalping some puts now. Just went from down 50% on puts to break even. Very cool. I do recommend them, Jonah. Yep, I do recommend. I entered them through the break of the 34 EMA. Right as we touched that 34, I was like, all right, I'm taking this to scalp down. But we are holding off the 8 or VWAP now. Yeah, I'm not. I told, like I said, y'all got to get off the scalps, man. Like, it's scalps. I'll call out the high confidence stuff. I'm not going to sit here and call out every scalp and y'all get smoked. So I'm just scalping a put to make up some of my profits. I promise y'all, I want to make y'all money too, and I'll call out the high confidence stuff. But right now, we're just chopping. I'm just trying to gain some profits where I can. Yeah, I'll yell out bananas. I'll yell out bananas. It's funny you use the word banana. I have a funny story about the word banana, but I won't have that now. Amazon, big red candle. Coming on down. Let's see if Apple can come off here too. No, it's not. I don't know. No, it's not. It's G rated. All right, here's VWAP. Watch out for Apple, man. Apple's coming off here. And there's a breakthrough and up. Nice. All right, cool. Red candle through VWAP. Not a lot of volume here, though. VIX is still going up. That's a decent move on the VIX, 21.91. And a bottom wick. Bottom wick. Right at VWAP. Bottom wick, yeah. Doesn't want to break through VWAP here. I'd like to see R1. But other than that, man, we're just kind of meh. Jabronis. Bottom wickeroni. That's right. Apple's going back up. Amazon's coming off here, and we're just chopping. Might be, yeah. 4,100 is a larger level now. They put on a lot of liquidity. Is that level way on down there still there? And yes, it is. Still there. Maybe that's next week's level. All right. So, you can't look at long-dated VIX calls without looking at long-dated SPX puts. Those go together like lamb and tuna fish. So, no? Spaghetti meatball? I'm going to look at mid-month. What are mid-months right there? August 22nd, mid-month. Those might be a little short. I want to go out a little further. No, you know what's funny? I've done before, PJ, is that I'll have my futures account open trading futures, and I'll be looking at ES, and I'll take a put or a call on ES, thinking it's SPX, and I'm like looking through my account. It's like I know I have the order confirms. Where's the freaking trade? Where's the position? And then like 10 minutes later, I'll realize that it's in my futures account, so I have to switch over to my futures account and look at the trade. But yeah, stuff like that happens. So mid-month, August 22nd, which is a little too aggressive. I'm going to go a little further out than that. You can get 3,600s for $3.40. That's cheap as crap. That's cheap as crap, but that's a little tight. That's a little tight. That's still 500 points. That's 600 points out. That's why we're not at 3,700 anymore. They get pretty expensive up in the 3640. So, what about September mid-month? September mid-month. It's pretty flat right now, Burton Pop. I know you track the ES to trade the SPX, but your top chart is SPY. Because most people are trading SPY. So I like to have it on there just to have confluence and people can look at it. Yeah, you're welcome. So mid-September contracts on SPX, you can get 3,700s for $26. Where's the vol open interest at? 6,000 to 3,700. You're going to have a lot of 3,800s, 3,900s. Do I go live every day? I do. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is just for this YouTube, and Tuesdays and Thursdays is for the Discord only. Have you left a forgotten order reminded when you got filled? Yes, I hate it. That happens all the time when I'm placing speculation fills. It usually happens on ES, because what I'll do is like overnight, if I think, if for example, if we're in a volatile range where like the ES is going to chop, like back in the springtime, it happened a lot. We had frequent 70, 80 point moves overnight on ES all the time. So I would put a limit buy order way the heck down on ES. It's like 50, 60 points down, and I didn't care. I'd go to sleep. So if it filled, high confidence it's bouncing, or at least making some money. It was a fantastic way to make a couple of grand before I even wake up. But if it didn't get filled, sometimes I would forget about it. And then on a bearish day, I'd be sitting here and I'd get an order confirmation come through if I bought, I had long DS. I'm like, what? So yeah, it happens. Now we haven't gotten a lot of movement on ES in a long time. But if you remember, like February, March, April, we were having like nightly 60, 70 point moves on ES. It was a fantastic way to make income. Well, I trade 2 to 3 contracts on ES. So if you can get 50 points on 3 ES contracts, you could do the math. What's 150 times 50? What's 150 times 50? That's $7,500. A lot of Taco Bell. That's right. That's right. Well, what I was saying, if I longed ES and ES climbed 50 points, and I took 3 contracts, it's 50 points times 3, 150, and you take 150 times how much you make per point, which is $50. So I have 150 points worth of gain times 50 points, $50 per point, $7,500. We can't break through VWAP here. Yeah, depends how you look at it. ES always a good indicator of moving ahead of SPY. Well, ES runs the market. ES is the big dog. So, and ES, SPY, SPX, they're all going to correlate. They may be off by a couple of points, but all in all, the price action is going to be the same. Come on, stupid VWAP. Probably. Probably. All right, 10 more minutes till the UK close, and then we'll see how this thing goes. All right, red candle off of off of the 8 EMA here, coming on down. Stuck in between view out. Yep. Microsoft is coming off here. Meta is still on the consistent downtrend. XLF is 33.61. Boring action. Boring action. Yeah, I saw that. Saw that. All right, nice little red-a-roni, 4102. Microsoft really coming off. Really coming off. We're still hanging out here at 4102. Apple's, ooh, nice candle on the red on Apple. But still can't break down here. There we go. Can we put in a new swing low here? Looking for a swing low. There we go. Awesome. Still holding the runner. There's what I got on the VIX right there. So, tracking the VIX, you've got right around this area where if you even look even further than that, the VIX has been on this uptrend for months. For months. Not to mention, I don't think we're going in. I don't think we're going under 20 on the VIX. Thoughts on a friend sent me this to me today. No, yeah, that's the over chart of the 2008 and 2001. Yeah, I mean we talked about that yesterday actually. Is that still holding this, right? Cool. Can we get down? Looking at that 15, because if you look at 2008, after 6 months, which we're currently at there, 7th month, after 7 months of the downtrend in 2008, we bounced 15%. And then we fizzled, and then we dropped off 60%. And everyone, I'm sure, in 2008, when the market was bouncing 15%, on the 7th month of the bear market, everyone's like, oh, yeah, that's it, bottom's in. You know, the MBSs aren't that bad. The adjustable rate mortgages, man, that's bullish. And then what happens? We drop 60%. But yeah, those charts are pretty. Yeah, it's different this time. That's the thing. It's different this time. Ooh, red candles. I like it. Let's do it. Let's do it. 47% on this runner. And I hope it happens. I hope it happens. Because the payoff will be monumental. Nice down. Well, great play. Fantastic play. Zero DTE. I've got a zero DTE 4100 that I'm scalping and now I'm letting the runners eat. Now green on the day. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, Mr. Sharky. $54%. If I'm scalping SPY, does it make sense at some point during the day to change from zero Friday's options to Monday? Yeah, somewhere around noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Can you say my name? What are you, Walter White? Say my name. Rankschi. 64%. Coming on down to the day's lows. Protect your money, that's right. You got to protect your money. What's your position in strikes, Dallin? What'd you take? Ooh, bottom wick. 411, 412. Nice. Nice. Right off R1. So green candles across the board. Pretty light liquidity. They've removed all substantial levels of liquidity except the one resting at 41.25. Red candle on the VIX. I got caught in that squeeze upwards and had puts that went down 50 just to close over plus 20. Hey, there you go. Green's green, baby. Make notes. I closed a 20-ish% loss, and now I'm up 54% on puts. So, but that is a win. You know, obviously a bad position, but that's a win for position management in my mind. I executed my thesis. Do I care now? Nope. Green on the day. Apple finished red. We're still kind of just hanging out, but not really any crazy movement. Large red bubble on Bookmap. Nice, Dallin. Apparently, we just bounced off perfectly on a lot of different lines. Correct, yeah. Yeah, so this is definitely a range day. We're no longer in trend. Apple's selling off here, so keep an eye on your puts. Apple's still dropping. Any music? No, nothing. Now I can't play music while I'm on YouTube because they'll hit me with copyright. Large green on Microsoft. Large green on Apple. Not an Apple, on XLF. Tesla's bouncing back up. Tesla ain't giving back nothing. Tesla's like, I dare you to take puts on me. Dare you. Apple bottom wick green. Apple bottom greens. Yep, Tesla's about to split. Y'all don't want to hear me sing. Ooh, that was a nice little top wick, wasn't it? That was a nice little top wick. Would be too late to put on a credit spread. Right now, I would wait. I wouldn't do a call or a put credit spread right now. We're kind of in the middle of the range. We could break up or down. I would wait. Apple still red. That was a decent red green candle that was top wicked here, but all in all, slow stuff. I'm taking them off ES, Damon. Yeah. Yeah. Amazon's taking 2% off the top. Is Bill Gates still holding his puts? I don't know. I don't know. Red candle. Hey, red candle-roni. Come on. Give me down to the old bottom of the day here, so. Someone just sold 4,300, 4,200 calls. Deep in the money calls. No, they're not. Outside the money calls. I was thinking 3,300. Yep. All I know is that Bill Gates is the largest landholder in the world, or in the country. So that tells you something. If you sell a call, yes, that is a bearish position. That is a bearish position, assuming that's sell to open, which I'm assuming it is since it's outside the money. Big money like that usually doesn't play outside the money call long calls, so that's probably a short position. The largest private. He's the largest private landowner in the country. I'm probably not the world. I think it is McDonald's, but yeah, that's what happens when you own 78,000 1-acre lots. All right, bottom wick on that. That was a decent red, but they bottom wicked it, and we're just kind of hanging out here. This is that 4,100 area. It's the 4,100 area. You know, we triggered around it all over in pre-market, and we're right back to it. I saw that. That's insane. I know. What is that? Saudi Arabia. They're always doing stuff like that, but that's a huge infrastructure. So, all right. So I'm still holding the runner put. I'm seeing if we could break down 4,100. I don't know if we are or not, but right now it's just pretty mundane action. That was that. One thing too is that could have been the European market sell-off as they close, and I don't want to get caught up. In fact, there you go. I don't want to get caught up on a V reversal. I just closed my puts too. I just closed the runner. So after that, 4,100. I don't know if we're going back up or not, but wow, I didn't know that. Close my runners. Nvidia is flying. Not really. I mean, they've got a couple of green candles. I thought they were about to put in new highs. What do we see SPX ranging between? Well, right now I've got, R1 and R2. I mean, right now we are bound beautifully between R1 and R2. Look at that. So I would keep my eyes there. Here, I'll give y'all. I'm gonna post the calls and the puts so y'all know exactly what I was doing. All right. So I'll post the calls. I did not get a good feel on that at all. And then the put. Barely green on the day. Barely green on the day. So, neutral day. I'm 20% for the day if you were novice in Remecca not training for the rest of the day. I don't know. I mean, we could come back up here. Obviously it's a lot choppier than what we've seen this week so far. I think we could rotate back up because I think that was the European market, little drop there, a little volatility going into the European market. And we had that drop into 4,100. Trading is 90% waiting for your setups and 10% pulling the trigger. A trader who cannot wait cannot make money. Isn't that the truth? What about 0DT 50 wide SPY butterfly 4100 currently for 22 credit? Not a bad idea, actually. 4100 probably is going to be the pinpoint, at least for most of the day. $200 call contracts. Right. Is that a 4140 call on July 29th? Heck, that'll probably pay. There's no real spike in volume here, so who knows if that's going to be the reversal, but everything is reversing. XLF is reversing. KV all coming up. Man, look at that green. Nice, Ross. Awesome. Beautiful plays. As I gain more in my day, my barrier to enter trades rises. Good. Needs to be way more obvious in a trade before I enter. Good, good, good. That's the way it needs to be. Defend your profits. That's what I'm doing today. Defend your profits. I use the KV4 coins, Goomba. KV4 coins. You're welcome. Tom Lee says the bear market's over. Stocks could hit new all-time highs before the year end. Oh, man, people are naive. Anyone who experienced reversals in trend, true long-term reversals, knows the difference. It's not questionable. When a bullish reversal happens, it's quite obvious. It's like, oh, okay, I see it now, and it goes. There is no fighting back and forth. There is no. It just goes. Yeah. Do I still check FID levels? Yes, I do. I check them on a long term. Check them on a long term. So. Yep. So we're just chopping between R2 and R1 here. I'll give it a few more minutes here, and I'm going to grab some lunch. I'm starving. Yeah, it's not that big deal, Rocket. You know, we're not talking about a trend day here, unless you're Johnny on the spot with your entries on this chop. It's fine. So, yeah, don't beat yourself up over it. It's no big deal. We're at that 2 deviations, aren't we? Do you know your longest winning streak, meaning all greens until first red? I know I had some 25 trade win streaks back in the fall, but I don't really pay attention to it now. I don't really pay attention to it now. I care about my daily win streak, which is substantial, but the transactional win rate, which we focused on so much in the beginning, it doesn't paint the full picture. Because look, I just took a loss on a scalp. I just took a loss on a scalp about an hour ago, and showing a 25% loss is usually a pretty big deal. Everyone's like, "Oh, you lost 25%," but it's a scalp. It doesn't paint the full picture. So I want to look at the overall green and red days. As long as I'm closing green, that's all I care about. Uh, 3 to 4, is about average. If I have more than that, then there's a problem. There's something's wrong. Give or take, yeah. But y'all have to realize I'm very conservative. I'm a very conservative trader. I'm not sitting here slinging plays left and right. Not to mention, this has been, when you're getting substantial moves in a day, you need to be taking advantage of it. Chop days is one thing, but if there's substantial movement in a day, that you need to be taking, like, you can jump on for at least 10 points. All I need on a 0 DTE trade, all I need is a 10-point move on SPX. That's all I need. You give me a 10-point move on SPX, and you're yielding, 40, 50, 60%. So I've been trading for about 11 years. It took me about 3 to be profitable. Yeah, red days are rare. Nice. Nice rocket. Yeah. How do you walk the line between attempting the end-of-day green and overtrading into Bolivian? Honestly, I don't make the green day my priority. I mean, it's nice to flip back to green, but what I'm looking for is just high confidence setups. And the overarching theme is I do not let loss get to me. Like that scalp loss right there, I don't care about that. Like, it's a scalp loss. I didn't just lose 25% of my portfolio. I lost 25% of one scalp. Cool. All right. Forget about it. And now if we are breaking down, let me close out this call. Let me take a put. Let me take a high confidence trade. Let me get into a position that's going to make me money. And the thing is, I'm not looking to make all my money back on one trade. That one worked out because I ended up with a 36, 37% gain. But all I need is a little bit. And then I'll look at another one and see, can I make another 10, 15% on this one, and do it again. But the trick is to make sure you're playing at particular levels. Instead of taking puts at R1, maybe you need to look at calls. Or instead of taking calls at R2 like I did the first time, maybe I should have took puts at R2. But the first big rejection of R2 is a confidence booster for me for puts at R2. So if we get back to R2, I'll be looking at puts again. I'm heavily in the red for Amazon puts. I'm in a different country and it has no reception. Question is, should I ride these puts out? Yeah, mine's pretty much dead. So I've closed the past 3 days green. So for me, the position's paid for. I'm just going to hold it just in case we get a big sell-off next week. Now, granted, it's a mid. I still have like 3 weeks left on the put, so there's plenty of time. We got to see what's going to happen. You're welcome. What was your bias when you switched from call and entry put? I mean, then I didn't have a bias. So obviously, I took a call because I saw Apple was pretty strong at the time. I saw us bouncing off the 8, and I was seeing if all the liquidity was at 41.25. I entered the play approximately 41.18, 41.19. I was trying to get 6 or 7 points out of that with Apple being green. So that's why I took that 41.25 call. Obviously, it didn't work out. I had a 10% on it. I tried to get a fill at 10%. I couldn't get a fill. One candle later, it dropped, and then I closed the position for a 25% loss. Once it touched R1. I'm sorry, R2. Once it touched R2, I closed the position. Once it closed below R2, I closed the position. And obviously, it was a great exit because we broke down. I quickly saw that things were dropping. I saw that big red candle that come on down to the 21 to the 34. I took the put. It actually got up to 74%. I ended up closing for 35%. So it's just being reactive. Obviously, both of those trades were not all that confident. They weren't amazing, huge trades. It's just me trying to work the mechanics and get on there. I missed the morning action because I didn't expect it that quick, which is a bummer. That was like a 30-point move, and I missed it because it just happened I don't like those quick moves like that. I like where I can kind of see where things are going to carve out. If we get 3, 4, 5 red candles and then V recover, that's great. If we get 3, 4 greens and then sell off and drop, that's great. But I don't like where it just one candle and then boom goes 30 points. It's so quick. There's a lot of ambiguity there. There's a lot of you could jump on some calls and do it, but yeah, you don't necessarily know what's going to happen at those times. Yeah, and all the bars have wicks too. VIX came back off 21.43. It's about to put in. Nope, it already did put a new low of the day in. So VIX just hit low of the day. Came all the way back off. I'm looking for 21.16. 21.16 on VIX if we can get there. And I'll start positioning myself for a 30 strike call. TLT is going nuts. Freaking 119. But we keep rejecting this 119 area. Look at that. We rejected 119 every day this week except one. Except 2. All right, 3 days this week. So, on the 22nd, on the 26th, on the 28th, and today, we've rejected 119. VIX, VIX, Ramstein. Yeah, for E-Trade and IBKR, just look up VIX and you'll see it. I can't seem to pull the trigger on buying directional 0DT plays. I feel like the price between ask and bid moves too quickly for me to get an optimal entry. Mohammed, yet the only thing I could really point you to is defining key levels or supports and resistance in the market and positioning yourself in there. That's what I tend to do. That's one of the benefits of my SR levels, is that if I see some price action around there, I'm going to start looking at entering a trade. Now the problem that we as traders do is that we're so focused on getting. We are terrified to see red on our profit and loss. We're terrified to see our position go red. So God forbid we take a position and it goes down 5%. We want that exact bottom number where when we take it, it immediately goes green and continues to go green. So I don't necessarily care about that. As long as I'm entering in a range which I think the price is going to go my way, that's fine. That's fine. And then you have to make sure you do it in a way that theta doesn't overcome the position. And obviously it's easier said than done. But you have to be able to manage red positions without closing. Otherwise, you'll never make money in trading. You'll get chopped up. Your loss rate will be 90%. But yeah, I can see why people stick to futures because there's no theta. I get it. There's not going to be much return, but you're not going to face theta. The options do have theta, yes, but the futures themselves do not. The futures contracts do not have theta. They're not an option. They're just a futures contract. How can you tell when considering FOMO versus riding the trend? It's really depending on the range. It depends on the range. Yesterday, for example, we V recovered, and I was 18 points late to the recovery. I got in 18 points late. But we were right in the middle of the range. We weren't. Like if I was taking puts like If I right now, if I took calls at R2, that for me would be FOMOing because we've already ejected R2 once. So we've already defined that R2 is a resistance. So if I took calls at R2 to right now, to me that would be FOMOing because there's a pretty good chance that we're going to reject R2. So, oh, thanks, Goomba. Appreciate that. I'm glad to help. That's the stuff I want to talk about. Not stop freaking worrying about my scalp plays and let's learn how to do this. That's the whole thing. So, and we'll get some high confidence trades. We're not going to be able to Barry Bonds the market out of the park every day. Sometimes we're Derek Jeter. We got to hit some singles, put them in the gap sometimes. Or if you want a golf metaphor, you can't be Dustin Johnson all the time cranking 400-yard drives. Sometimes you got to be, Tiger Woods on the greens, putting. It's all about the putting. I could do a football one too if you want. I don't think I could do soccer though. I'm not that well versed in soccer. Although I don't know, Dustin Johnson went over to the Live Tour, so I don't know. Thanks, Baby Purple. Cricket. I have a little bit of like my neighbors. They showed me cricket because I've never played cricket before, but they're from India. Baseball OG. I love it. I love it. I mean, heck, Xbox had a cricket game before they had a good baseball game, so it tells me something. Took some time off and started trading on a baby account. Nice Squirtle. I look at them all time frames, but the 3 minute. But I want to encourage you to look at all the different time frames. My favorite time frame on the daily, I'm sorry, on the single day chart is the 30 minute. The 30-minute chart will tell you great because it tells you the overall arching trend of the day. By the way, look at the 60-minute chart. It is not that clear. It is not that clear. Look at this. It's a 60-minute chart on ES. Hey, look at the 41.25 level again. They pumped it back up. I think we're going to have a late afternoon move. That's what I think. I think we'll either, whether bullish or bearish, I think we'll have a late afternoon move. If I had to guess, upside. If I had to guess, I think we might spike today and then dump it on Monday. I most likely will take, I'll be looking at some sort of bearish position into the afternoon for a late August, early September play, whether it be a VIX call or an SPX put. Well, I'm not talking about a 1 DTE. I'm talking about like a 30 to 45 day DTE put. So, English breakfast pattern. Yeah. How do we know if they're not spoofing? We don't know. We know spoofing is illegal, but they still do it. So if I see a level being put on and taken off, I'll consider that a spoof. Although right now that 39.75 is still there. That's still there. How do you deal with FOMO like you do? Like, do you walk away from Discord and charts after that one trade? I kind of take the sentiment of the day. Like yesterday, I went to lunch and I didn't even check the charts. That came back and but we did start moving, but it was like a 10-point move after a lot of chop. So if it's like a strong day, I'll pretty much monitor the charts all day. I'll step away, come back, step away, come back. If it's like a strong trend, I definitely don't want to miss. I think for me, I still want to make money when there's money to be made. But that's why it was very difficult to fly, because I'd have to, sometimes when I have to go back in the top secure area, I can't bring your phones back there. I'd come out 2 hours later and the market's up, 115 points. Well, that'd have been nice. Those who work in that area, my pain. That's true. That's true. Took some late dated 831 calls on VIX yesterday when the market was at 4110. Did you catch the 7,000 lot bid put on the? I didn't see that. No, I didn't see it. Man, yeah, I don't think I've seen a 7,000 on one line. It's literally the hardest thing I've ever learned. Absolutely. It's rude. Like I definitely don't want to give off the impression I do this with ease. I do this through a lot of experience, but this is not easy. I don't care how easy I make this look. This is never easy. And you can do it. I promise you can do it. But the whole thing, if I had to really, like, the emotional side is discipline. The discipline side is obviously emotional. That's why one of the reasons I'm successful. The technical reason why I'm successful is because I know how to manage my positions. Instead of just putting on a call and saying, "Oh shucks, I lost the call. I suck." What am I doing? I'm looking for puts. I'm going to close it out. I'm not smart. I promise you. I promise you. Like, I am not the sharpest crayon in the box. But yeah, we eat crayons. But I know how to manage positions, and that's the number one thing that y'all need to learn is how to manage a position. How to manage. In fact, if you're tier 2, that's what we're talking about on the next Zoom call. That's one of the main things is how to manage your positions. Sometimes I'm scrapping to break even. Sometimes I'm scrapping to minimize my loss. Sometimes I'm grinding like that $50,000 day. All I was doing is putting on puts. I'm like, come on, baby, you keep dropping. I'm going to keep on adding puts. To me, the hardest part for me now is dealing with you all. Like when I'm in a losing play, it's like, how do I get them out of a loss? I know how to get out of it. How do I get them out of a loss? Because I know you jabronis are following my stupid trades. So, can we do a monthly lottery for 2 to 3 memberships to experience? Yeah, but I need to get out of Patreon to do that. In fact, that's like you're reading I've got a 4-foot by 6-foot dry erase board behind me that me and Mrs. OM write down notes about how to better the community. What do we need to do? Priorities, long-term priorities, and like one of them is the value added to tier 2. What can we bring to tier 2? And one of them is lotteries, giveaways, that type of stuff. But I can't do that until I get off Patreon. Thanks, Supernator. Yeah, so after this weekend, we'll be done with Patreon. Changing your bias is the biggest challenge because of the fear of adding to the loss. Absolutely it is. Absolutely. I liked your operational words the other day. Crosswinds, oil pressure. I'm in the Navy. Nuke, nice. Brittle fracture prevention limit curve. Exactly. In fact, we'll call it the brittle fracture prevention limit curve theory. I don't see Ortiz. The reason being is because I'm already one of the cheaper Discords out there. And in fact, you know, $25 is one of the cheaper ones out there. So like most of them start out at like $60. So I think it's a good win-win. I'll let those answer that question, Link. It all depends on how much value you want to get. Obviously, it's a little more intimate in tier 2, like we're talking more Zoom calls. We're talking one-on-one questions, video, stuff like that that's recorded, and you go back and look at all the different files. I'll let someone else answer that question. That's correct. That is not her. Yeah, Mrs. OM is being spoofed right now. Obviously, she's not a crypto trader, so the about me is wrong. Yeah. Little Red coming off 4105. The one thing I'm thinking about here is I'm more guilty of this than you all. Is the chit chat during the big moves. So that's the one thing, and that it's going to get worse as the community grows. At some point, I am going to have to cap membership, and I'm just not sure at what point that is. I'll know it when I see it. If the trading floor becomes just overwhelmingly chatty, I'll have to cap the memberships. So I'm just not sure when that'll come. But when things are shaking and baking, we'll have to cut out the chat and focus on the charts a little more. Which trust me, I'm more guilty of it than you all. I'll talk about tacos. Yeah, right. yeah, slow mo to work. Got my sweatshirt last week. Great deal. Nice. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it, Maddie. Yeah, I love it. For sure, CR. Yeah. All right, red candles here, 4101, coming off the 34. No plays for me here. I'm just watching this at this point. Watching the old book map, we didn't quite get up to R2. So for me, that would have been a low confidence put for me. Just because we're not quite to R2. We're kind of in the middle of the range. They have liquidity coming off and on. Yeah. Well. Is it my real name? Well, it's my middle name. My parents called me Options Millionaire as my middle name, but sometimes I go by my first name. Jabroni Options Millionaire. That's right. That's my first name, Jabroni. Now we're just chopping. We're chopping around the EMAs. We're just kind of oscillating up and down around the EMAs in dead flat. The narrowing wedge. That's right. That's right. Neo puts. The jokes are worth it. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm like the Michael Scott of the Discord. I'm just kidding. We got a baby named it out. There you go. There you go. I love it. Collect call from We Had a Baby, It's a Boy. Bottom wick green, right back up to the VWAP. 41.25 is larger liquidity. A young candle. I like that. It's a young candle. All right, so I'm going to do a little walkthrough of all the X sectors here and all the stocks to see what's going on, just to get a good handle. Are there any outliers? That's what I'm looking for. Not only in price action, but in volume. Where is the market hanging out today? Something's moving. We just got to find it. Obviously, Amazon, we're not going to talk too much about that. We know the deal. Tesla, that's an outlier today. So we know Tesla is beast mode. 3%. Except for Amazon's silliness, Tesla's the strongest stock out there. They bounced off 837 and they went to 867. Google, it's pretty much flat overall in the arch. It's up on the morning, but then the flat action since 9:45. Healthcare is down. Nvidia is flat. Facebook, Meta is down and continuing to tank. I'd love to see it. Let's see you go through 110. XLK is doing the same thing. V is down, so healthcare is plummeting. They went on an absolute rally yesterday and then sold off, and now they're still down. Y is up. Healthcare is flat. What else? Industrials is up. Big time. Big time, big time. P is flat. Energy's up big time, 3.78. Utilities, so both utilities and industrials. And then, of course, real estate's up 0.3. The Russell is flat, dead flat. The Russell's dead flat. The Dow is up to 32.5. They're up 0.35. And the bonds are skyrocketing up to 118.94. I'm going to zoom out on the bonds on the daily chart. This has been the strongest supply zone for the bonds since April of 2022. So, interesting time in the bonds. In fact, I want to go back. Stand by one. Give me this. When did the bonds bounce in 2008? The bonds bounced in 2008 in June of 2009. They tanked in 2009. So the bonds rotated. Stand by one. I'm going to look at this. If someone monitor ES for me, or let me know if it moves. I'm going to look at something. I just had a thought. All right, so the bonds bounced in 2008, or in that time frame. The bonds bounced June of 2007. Which was also the top of the market. So they rotated. The bonds bounced and went up in June of 2007, and then the market, the S&P started to fall in June of 2007. The bonds skyrocketed and then peaked in December of 2008, which was also the bottom, right before the bottom of the market. So the bonds peaked 2 months before the S&P bottomed. So the bonds peaked in December 2008. 2 months later, in February 2009, the S&P bottomed out and jumped. And that was it. Then the bonds sold off and continued to sell off. And that was it. So basically here, we're looking for the reaction out of bonds to gain, for the move to come down and the bonds to start buying up aggressively and going up. That huge rotation into the bonds may signify that we're going to start to dump. That flight to safety. Because now we're looking at the bonds who have come off aggressively from we went up to 178, now we've dropped down to 107. If the bonds can rotate, maybe this could signify that we're going to fall back over. I don't know. Just doing some analysis on the bonds there. Just be aware of the bonds. My plan for the VIX is, I'm thinking right now, late August, early September, 30 VIX. A 30 strike on the VIX. Yeah, the bonds have been very crazy. But that's why SpotGam has been talking about monitor the move index. The move is the volatility of the bonds. So until the move starts to come off, you're not going to see that. You're not going to see the bonds settle down and people start to trust the bonds and have that rotation. So watch the move indexes start coming off. The move is still spiking. TLT. Here to learn. Mega Millions tonight. Yeah, who's got a Mega Millions ticket? Yeah, we got 394 people watching. If you wouldn't mind, hit that like button. Help us grow. Help us expand. Teach people the right way to do this. I have one ticket. Well, your odds are just as good as if you had 1,000 tickets. So there you go. If y'all wake up and I change my name to Options Billionaire, you know I won. I won't even tell you. I'll just change it. Although if I would take the lump sum, which wouldn't be a billion, but. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate that. Yeah, he says that now, but I guarantee he won't do it, Carter Hack. Everyone says, yeah, I'll give you all the money if I win. Nope, I ain't going to give you nothing. I ain't going to give you nothing. Gonna have a dollar bill. There you go. Yeah, it is. Yeah. We actually have someone in town here that won the lottery back in the 90s. They won a couple $1,000,000 back in the 90s, and they lost every bit of it. They spent it all. We're hanging out at 4110, no plays. Not much going on. I won $1,000,000 on a scratch off. Nice. White House says the U.S. is preparing new security assistance package for Ukraine. There you go. Keep on coming. It's getting a little ridiculous for me right now on Ukraine. I haven't seen that, Elon. Yep. Yep. They win $2,000,000. The problem with the lottery with that is like $2,000,000 is 2 million, like 500 million. That's one thing. You could pretty much piss away $100 million. You're still good to go. $2,000,000. That's not enough to change your life if you're not smart with money. You could have some temporary pleasures, but if you don't know how to manage $2,000,000, all $2,000,000 is going to do is ruin your life. If I won $2,000,000 right now, it wouldn't change my life one bit. I would invest it. Every bit of it would be invested. I would donate some of it, obviously, philanthropy or tithe, and then the rest would be invested. It would change my future life, not my current life. Exactly. 400. I mean, heck, 100K could change your life if you know how to invest it, Steve-O. But that's the point I was making, is that $2,000,000, if you don't know how to manage it, would not change your life. It would just it would worsen your life if you don't know how to change it, because you would piss it all away. Would it be crazy to take a strangle? If you're expecting larger move in the afternoon, take a strangle. I'm not going to do it, but I mean, heck, $2 million, a Lamborghini is 25%. 25% of 2 million. So you're going to go piss away 25% of your capital on a Lamborghini. That would be epic. Is this normal? We have uppers moment, but not affected by consistent growth. It's just a weak. It's a weak pump right now. Right now, it's not even a pump. We're chopping right now. It's just a range day. We had the early morning pump, we had the sell off, and now we're just chopping. Not really much else here. Yeah, isn't like 30 grand to change the oil on Lamborghini? Like that's just insane. That's insane. I thought about renting one time, just to drive one. It was like $6,000 for 2 days to rent a Lamborghini, like the brand new 2022 or 2021. I was like, heck no, I ain't paying 6 grand for that. Yeah, it's your mine. Just to like get on the highway and just gun it. All right, y'all. Well, I'm getting kind of hungry. It's lunchtime. We're not really doing anything. We're just chopping, and we start talking about winning the lottery. I think that's pretty much it. So, yes, absolutely it would, Alpha. If I put down $1 billion order on ES, you bet your butt it would move it. So, appreciate y'all hanging out. Choppy day, but hopefully you gain some knowledge. I'll see y'all this afternoon. We'll do a stream here and Pow Hour earlier if we decide to move. I'm not sure if we are, but we'll see. I'll be monitoring. Y'all take it easy. Let me know if you have any questions. DM me with any questions. Ping them in the room so other people can learn from your questions as well. If you have any admin or membership-related questions, DM Mrs. OM. She can help you out. If you are on Patreon, please cancel the Patreon membership and let's head over to the website so we can start doing some raffles and giveaways and some fun stuff so I can start to give back. So, yeah, I'll send out an email to you on Patreon as well. Y'all take it easy. Have a good rest of the morning/afternoon. I'll see you here in a few hours. I'm out. See ya.